Hey everybody! In today's video, I'm going to show you the simplest faux stained glass technique that I just love. And if you have a set of geometric dies like these, it makes it even easier to do a really pretty symmetrical stained glass. So I'm just using my MISTI ruler to create a vertical and a horizontal on this little hexagon. And then I'm going to subdivide the quadrants with diagonal lines until I have as many as I would like. And I'm not going through the image here. So I'm making this a lot like a church window that has an image in the center and then has like rays of light coming out around it. You can also use the points of this particular die to line up certain parts of the stripes as I've done here. Now we're going to color this in a color scheme that was inspired by one of my favorite paintings ever. It's called Flaming June. It's really beautiful. And people always do angels in blues and grays and whites. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a Flaming June angel because it's just so stunning and it still allows me to have a beautiful complementary color scheme with blue in the background. Now to make the transition between my darkest orange marker and the yellow, I'm doing what I call palette blending, where I'm scribbling the lighter orange, the second color that I used on my glass mat, and then picking that up with the tip of my yellow to blend the line between those two colors. And you will see me do this repeatedly. This is a cheaty, super easy way to blend that I have used since I very first started using alcohol markers. So hopefully you can see the Olo caps there for the colors that I'm using. Every now and then I remember to do that, not always. I'm using the darkest color for any parts of the inner part of the garment that will be in shadow, so like the insides of her sleeves, etc. But then I'm just using the same color scheme for all of her clothing. For as kind of an intricate and expressive stamp as this is, it actually is super easy to color. All of the areas that you're coloring are very large and well defined. And I think I actually have 2 more videos with this same stamp. I cannot stop using it. I'm going to cry real tears if this one ever goes away because it is just one of my favorite angels for a bunch of different techniques. I will put links to the videos that I remember using this angel with, and you can click on those as they come up. I'm making her hair in the same color scheme as her clothing. Everything about this angel, with the exception of the wings, is going to be in this kind of fiery color scheme. I'll actually color her pale yellow as well to just be harmonious with the rest of the image. And then the wings will be the bridge between the fiery orange and the cool blue. So here I'm just picking a very pale yellow. This is 1.1 to fill those details in with. Now I want to show you a little trick for, especially if you have a geometric alternating design like I've created with these lines. This is a fun sort of visual effect that I've used on many kind of symmetrical geometric designs, and I wanted to show it to you. What it involves is alternating each section between where the dark color is and where the light color is. So see how mine's going dark to light out towards the edge, and then I'll skip one section and I'll go dark to light, skip one, go dark to light. And then on the intervening sections, I'll do the opposite. The dark color is going to be at the edge coming in towards the center of the design. And you'll see, even though this is very subtle and these colors are very blended, you're going to see what a huge difference that makes just visually between the two sections that are next to each other and how it makes the whole overall design so much more interesting. So for the blue sections, I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing palette blending to smooth the line between the dark and the light. But the difference is I'm only using 2 colors of blue to do this with, where I was using 3 colors blended together for the angel. This is just kind of a medium toned blue and then a lighter blue. There's not a lot of contrast between these two, which you might be thinking right now while you're watching this video. You might be thinking, what is she doing? Why is she bothering? But wait until you see the technique from the other direction begin to take shape. And I promise you, you're gonna be proud of me. You're gonna be glad that you stuck it out and watched to the end. These sections, of course, are very easy to color. It's actually really pretty, just like this. You could leave one white, but I wanted her wings to really be that kind of bright bridge, so I didn't do that. So this is me putting the dark at the edge instead of in the center, and just wait until you see it. It's amazing. Some of these, there's not a lot of space around the angel, and that's okay. Just make just a shallower line there. Because of the palette blending, it's going to be seamless no matter what. And the effect that we're creating with the alternating shadow position is going to show up really well no matter how thick that little line is. So here I'm palette blending it up, going back towards the center. It's nice to color against a straight line. It sort of makes your job easier. And you can go back and adjust if you feel like some of those don't have enough of the dark color, but it's better if you're conservative in the beginning with how far that dark goes into that space, because you cannot undo that. So keep it pretty short at the beginning and then go back and adjust like you see me doing here if you need to. Now on the right hand side, you can see that pattern is already finished, and you can see how different that looks with the alternating colors. It's pretty stellar, but it's also really easy. And nothing about this takes any kind of coloring skill whatsoever. Anybody can do this if I can do it. So just keep that in mind. So this section is done. You can see how that's coming together. And now you can sort of see why I wanted to fill that in and have that white space remain open on her wings. You could also add some glitter if you wanted to add some glitter. I'm going to make the card base white, and I'm using a texture plate just for a little subtle texture since everything about this image is so smooth. But the white here makes such a great contrast. I would just keep it and not put any glitter on it, but glitter would be pretty. So the very last one is this kind of narrow portion at the bottom. And the great thing about a stained glass technique is whatever your sections are, so whatever shape you're working with in the beginning, it does not have to be perfect. Like the sections don't have to kind of begin and terminate in the same way for every section. So it can be a real forgiving technique. So this is what she looks like all finished. That is a very quick and easy but super dramatic and impactful card centerpiece. And then you can see that I kept it pretty simple on the card, just a textured card panel and a sentiment. So head over to my blog for more information, and thanks so much for watching.